momentous and emotional day for the families, and the key thing is that the government have to genuinely listen to the families of those that lost their lives, those that survived. And I talked to Antoinette Keegan this morning. I talked to other people who were either family, those who survived or who lost loved ones, and they are best placed, obviously, to set out what it is they want. And the important thing is that the government truly listens, and provides a meaningful apology and follows through with the actions that the families want, so that the long struggle for truth and justice is finally received by the families. But there are a few things I can say from my conversations with the families and my involvement with them over the years that came across from all of those I talked to. And first of all, that is enormous anger and hurt over the way in which the state, successive governments, frustrated them at every turn in their struggle for truth and justice. Rather than helping these families, they did everything to frustrate their efforts to achieve truth and justice. And that fact has to be acknowledged. The complicity of the state in putting these families through more than 40 years of hardship, of trauma, of having to struggle just to get the truth and justice that they and their loved ones deserved. And I think unless the Taoiseach and the government's apology really gets to the heart of that issue, it will ring hollow for many of the families. I mean, I don't want to speak for all of them by any means. I'm not in a position to. There's many families, and they have all been affected in unique and different ways, and precisely what they want now, I think, will vary. But certainly one family that I'll refer to today are insisting that there has to be criminal investigations for those that were responsible for this. And I think those appeals have to be listened to. There has to be accountability. There has to be an explanation as to why the state refused to listen, why they ignored the families for so long, how there could have been reports that said things like probable arson when we now know that was not the case. How could that have happened? How could the state let that have happened and effectively let the families be branded as liars? And I think they want answers on how that could possibly happen. And certainly one of the families, as I said, that I will refer to, concluded their email to me this morning in just saying this was because of the greed of a rich and powerful family that was well connected. So those sort of issues need to be truly acknowledged, and there needs to be real accountability. Or the fact, as Antoinette Keegan reminded me this morning, that on their behalf I presented in the Dáil, I walked across the floor of the Dáil in 2017 with a very large report that had been compiled by the Families Campaign, which refuted all of the original findings of the Keane and Coffey report and provided new evidence, which the government said they were going to look at, but they did absolutely nothing about. Nothing about. So this could have been ended years ago, but it wasn't. Even though the families were begging and appealing and providing the evidence with very little resources, and then just the intergenerational trauma that has suffered, because the other thing that really was put across very strongly by someone I was talking to this morning was the awareness that people had that the outrageous way they were treated had something to do with where they were from, that they were working class people, and that was a very significant contributing factor to the outrageous way that they were treated, that they were ignored, that they were mothers and fathers of children. All of these terrible wrongs that the state was complicit in have to be fully acknowledged, and there has to be real accountability over the state's complicity in.
Yesterday was Earth Day. It was the day of yet another shocking report about the scale of climate catastrophe that we are heading towards, this time from the European Union together with the World Meteorological Organization. It reveals that the of climate change, global